you're new to selling Pokemon cards, I think a great place to start is what you already have. Okay. I don't think that you should leverage any of your money or go into some type of investing spree. I don't think you should do that because my motto is this hobby rewards the ones that are patient. Okay. I think I am living proof of this. I've collected, for those that don't know, I've collected for the past 10 years, but heavily for the past like 5. So most of my collection that is high value items, I just got really cheap a long time ago, you know? So just staying as a collector throughout your journey is super crucial to this. And take your time so you don't get burned out, okay? Starting from the bottom, where I say starting from the mud, I think is super super important because you get to learn a lot of basic skills, whether it's customer service, packing, tracking your expenses. Maybe you make enough money selling where, now you have to possibly pay a tax on that, any type of self-employment tax if you want to do this for yourself. So there's a lot of learning curves that, you don't want to get hit with all at once. So I think taking your time is the smart way to do it. And the algorithm, which I'll talk about here soon, favors the people that work the hardest. Platforms like eBay and TCG Player are great for lower end cards because the key to that is just being consistent. Look into how the platform operates. I think that's very important. So the more you post, the more consistent you post, the algorithm favors you and your listings kind of get pushed up and you make more sales. It's kind of that simple. So consistency is key. Don't forget that. And for anyone that's kind of like, oh, what kind of materials should I get? I'm just going to tell you what we use. And I felt like it is a big time saver. And for about a year, I thought we were cutting corners by just using envelopes and cutting the paper out and then taping the shipping label. And I think we were just doing too much damage to ourselves. So we invested in a thermal printer, a cheap one on Amazon, JADENS. Here, let me show you. Okay. It just looks like that. Thermal printer, nothing all crazy. Mad simple. You don't ever have to pay for any ink. The restock is super cheap on the labels. And we use these semi-rigid envelopes. Okay. They're not amazing, but they're better than a paper. And then you don't have to waste any tape because you could just peel that off, the thermal label on the front, and then ship it out. You're good to go. So I buy these off of Amazon. They're a few cents a piece. I think they're great. Be aware, not every single move that you make is going to be a home run. Okay. There is not 100% success rate when it comes down to buying stuff and selling them. Okay. You might actually overpay, especially when you're starting out. I think you should get excited about some of your losses because those are very good experience points for you in this journey. You kind of learn what to do, what not to do. You could watch videos all day, every day about people doing it, but it will not do anything for you personally until you actually get on the horse and do it yourself. So you go through all the bumps, all the, hey, I didn't get my card. Oh, how do I do a refund or request? How do I submit it through eBay? And, you get to learn to go through these little bumps in a road. It's all part of the growth. Okay. If you make mistakes, look back at it and just say, okay, perfect. Now that I made this mistake, I won't make this mistake again. And then I could level up. It's all about how you look at it. Okay. You could turn a negative into a positive if you choose to do so. And I think the most important thing, honestly, is to make sure your finances in order. Everyone has financial different responsibilities. Okay. And my biggest piece of advice, if you want to grow in this hobby or, make it successful, is you just can't have any outstanding debt. Okay. You can't make a living trying to get 10, 15% on Pokemon cards while you're owing a credit card company 20% or more. Okay. So no matter what, you're almost just in this vicious circle and you're losing. Or start selling off your cards to get out of that debt. Okay. Getting out of debt is super important. And I'm not here to be a financial advisor. I'm just letting you know what really helped us get that big snowball going. Okay. We are very frugal people. When it comes down to just our daily life spendings, we don't really go out much when it comes down to going out to eat or spending money on stuff we don't really materialistic things. The only materialistic things that we actually spend our money on is stuff like this. Everything gets kind of reinvested because we love it. You know, at the end of the day, it's, would I rather buy this, designer shirt, or should I put that money into like a cool card I get? And I always think about that. Like, if I'm going to spend 40 to 50 bucks, do I really need something that I might just throw away at a yard sale a year or two from now? Or should I just get something I really enjoy for my collection? The most important thing is enjoy the journey. Start from the bottom. It's completely okay. Take your time. I promise you, you will grow as long as you stay consistent and you don't go anywhere. This is a bull market. Conditions are crazy. But muscle through it. I promise you, you got this. Till then, just keep on keeping on.